South Bronx, the South Bronx, South Bronx.
Well, they're
What
not.
do you mean by the nonprofit industrial
Well, you know
complex?
the like industrial complexes. Like Eisenhower talked about the military industrial complex, and that it basically worked. It created wars so that it could perpetuate itself. Right? You make more wars, you can
Ooh.
sell more weapons. There's like a whole industry around it, right? So there are other types of industrial complexes, and I think the nonprofit world is one of them. It exists more, to keep itself in uh, out there and available to say that they're doing like the best thing to support these folks. But especially when it comes down to low status communities, they're literally creating this thing that really serves more to perpetuate itself. They're treating poverty like it's a cultural attribute, like it's something that we just do because what else do we do in those communities? You're just either poor or you don't belong there, and that's why it's okay for the talented ones to leave. But there's also as well, like there's an industry making money around it, so that kind of hurts, right? um, so if all the money that was the billions of dollars that were spent, you would think that things would actually change in our communities, but they're not, and they haven't. And in fact, like one could argue that things have actually even gotten worse because we're not building the kind of infrastructure, in particular on the economic side, that's there to support people like us who were there. And so, yeah, thanks for flipping that so I could actually see you and you're not down there on the screen. But it's super exciting, to think that we have the keys to our own economic recovery within our own community. But I also know that it's sort of almost like heresy to some folks, where it's just sort of like, the nonprofits, these like, the moral heart, of our community. And I'm just like, if you're not building something that's creating and regenerating health and well-being in our community, then
Right.
if we're not getting any better, then you need to check what you're doing and just reassess it. And I know that that's hard, for a lot of people to even think, because, we've been led to believe that, the nonprofits and they're like the moral center, and, they really, they're there for the community. And I'm like, okay, then I would like for my community to get better. Thank you very much. And not to mention, it's actually, that a lot of philanthropy is simply, racist in its funding. Like the kind of like the little crumbs that are sprinkled, on the people of color led organizations it's frightening. Like there was actually a
Wow.
crazy report that came out that, it's like climate change is absolutely going to be felt more by vulnerable populations. And in the States, that's people of color, and our communities, because we're the ones with like, all the noxious facilities, dealing with like low-lying areas, all that stuff. And there was a study that came out that showed that less than 2% of climate change funding going to those
Right.
organizations went to people of color-led organizations.
Family,
I
we
know.
have some work to do.
Hello.
Family, we have some work to do. Family, we have some work